Okay, so welcome to all of you who have gathered here today. We're very happy that you have joined us. My name is Steve Schmidbauer. I'm the Executive Director of Child Family Health International, the convening sponsor of today's forum. This forum, this assembly for the empowerment of women, is possible today because of the great call from the United Nations for the whole world to rally in support of the ever-advancing role of women. Next week, presidents and prime ministers will come here to New York to discuss the progress of all of the Millennium Development Goals. Today, we gather here to address the progress of Millennium Development Goal number 3, to promote gender equality and empower women. And we gather in this forum so that ordinary people, not just presidents and prime ministers, can have their voices heard, can weigh in also, and so that women from various levels of leadership can share their journeys. We gather today in hope and in determination. We gather in hope because of the many examples of successes that we will hear about and learn from today. We gather in determination because there are only less than 5 years remaining to achieve the Millennium Development Goals. So there's a lot of work to be done, especially regarding goal number 3. And yet, I have to confess that there's part of me that wonders how can it possibly be in 2010 that we still have the urgent need to gather for this purpose at all? Why? How can it be that so many women are still unempowered in so many places, in so many roles? Indeed, as our world grows smaller and smaller, our mothers, our sisters, our daughters grow even more vital to the health and betterment of the entire world community. But I guess we must take our lessons from the past. For as with every freedom that has been gained, with every advancement and empowerment that has been achieved in our rich world history, perspective is everything. It is perspective that helps open the eyes of an oppressor. It is perspective that often gives the gift of understanding. It is perspective that helps healing, forgiveness, and reconciliation become possible. It is my hope that this gathering will give each of us a new insight, a new thought, will help us view things from a different perspective so that we might achieve some enlightenment that will send us forth from here renewed and impassioned in our efforts. I want to tell you just a brief little story about one of our panelists here today. Ms. Hema Pandey is the India coordinator for Child Family Health International. She's based in New Delhi. And several years ago, when I was on a program visit to India, Hema and I were working together, and we visited a major hospital in Mumbai. We were taken to the office of the superintendent of the hospital, and as we met with the hospital superintendent, we discussed many, many issues. And the superintendent, throughout the entire conversation, looked directly at me. I tried to involve Hema in the conversation. He looked directly at me. I said to him, in answer to some of his questions, I said, well, Hema can speak better to that than I can. And Hema spoke, and she spoke well. And he never really looked at her. He looked back at me. And I tried over and over again, and nothing changed. Later, as Hema and I were in the backseat of a taxi racing across Mumbai to another appointment, I was incensed. Wow, that was so strange, I said. I didn't expect that. Not only would he not speak to you, he wouldn't even look at you. Hema was unfazed. She sat quietly in the taxi. Then she smiled, and as all the Delhi traffic was clamoring around us, she calmly said, "Do not presume that just because India once had a woman as head of state, that men and women are considered to be equal everywhere in India. So my lesson was learned. And I'm sure that each of our panelists today has her own perspective to share. And I hope that many of you will share your own perspectives as well.